Namaste and welcome to the audience in this brand new episode of our program Guest in Town, Atithi Devo Bhava. In this program today we are going to focus on the insurance sector, the sector of insurance. For this we have the General Manager of National Insurance India, Mr. KV Vijaya Srinivas. Let me welcome him. Welcome sir, welcome to Nepal, welcome to Himalaya Television.
Thank you very much.
How are you? It's been long, isn't it? 1 year?
About a year. About a year.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Going all well?
Absolutely.
What about the year? How the year went?
Actually, for national insurance, it was a great year. And we could show the highest accretion in the history of the company of almost 2,200 crores.
Okay.
And,
that's really very good news,
yes.
isn't it?
So it was a good year financially. And we have great plans for the current year also.
What about personal?
It was quite satisfying.
Since your business was good, definitely the life
Yes.
will go rock, isn't it? Life
Yes,
will rock.
yes.
And tell us something about this visit of yours this time.
This time, this is essentially to, have a review of our business performance and work out targets for the next year, and also to interact with customers and people here, the regulator, and it's all there are a lot of changes in the sector also which have been proposed by the regulator, so we wanted to have an interaction and find out how to orient ourselves for this particular
Year.
and for the future.
Okay. So as per the review, what is your analysis? Means
It's
2016, isn't it?
2016. So this year, 2016-17, our growth here has been there, but there has been a little bit of laxity. But there's a lot of enthusiasm. We have plans for expansion, and we have plans for taking it on further here. This year we would like to grow in a very big way here, and it should set the tone for the years to come.
Okay. In
So,
Nepal.
in Nepal.
Focusing on Nepal,
In
right?
Nepal.
Right.
So, of course, in India and our overall operations everywhere, there also we are focusing on growth and along with profitability. And that is going to be our theme, growth along with profitability. And also to bring in new products and new methods, keeping up with technology. And we have recently introduced new software here in Nepal, which will take care of most of the regulatory aspects and other things also. So we are upgrading ourselves, and we want to make it into a technologically superior and focused organization.
How do you analyze this sector in this current, let's say, the fiscal year in Nepal?
I think there is a lot of potential here, and this potential needs to be tapped. There has been growth. I was looking at the figures of other companies also. Companies have grown, and I think the industry also has grown substantially in the current fiscal. And potential-wise, there's a tremendous amount of potential which needs to be tapped.
Right. It's been around how many years that National Insurance is doing business in Nepal? It's been around more than 30 years, isn't it?
It's about 43 years.
43 years.
We are perhaps the oldest
Right.
insurance company here.
Right.
And it's been a long haul for us.
How do you see, how do you compare those past and present? Do you want to share some?
The past was good. Perhaps we didn't have so much of competition at that time, and it was an emerging economy, and the growth was slow. We had some good years. Now, of course, there's a tremendous amount of competition. A lot of new companies have come in, and many of them have overtaken us in terms of volumes, and we have to reorient ourselves to take care of the competition and also see that we bring in the best practices to this market.
You just said that there is the huge possibilities in Nepal, isn't it? We need to tap that. It's been 43 years that National Insurance is doing its business in Nepal, its work in Nepal. What are kind of possibilities that National Insurance see in Nepal that should be tapped?
See, right now, as I see, much of the business comes from 2-3 segments. One is motor. Motor has grown.
Right.
And then a lot of hydroelectric projects have been coming up. and project insurances is a area which is there, which has been lending a lot of support to the growth. We also have to look at fire insurance. That is, especially after this earthquake, I think there has been a lot of interest shown there. What I understand is that people are aware of insurance and the positives of it. Health is an area which there's a lot of scope for growth. There are a couple of new emerging areas like livestock and crop insurance. Now, crop is something which is relatively new for us also. In India also, the thrust came in a big way last year. But before that, it has been there for a very long time. It's been a learning process, but it didn't really grow much.
But I guess this is the high time, isn't it? We have to focus on this agricultural livestock sector.
Absolutely. Because that is one area where farmers really require a lot of support.
Right, right.
And insurance could be a way of giving them that kind of a support.
But I don't know why this insurance company or this banking sector is not focusing on this sector, since we do realize that this sector is very much important for the national growth, isn't it?
Yes.
But we have not been able to, give much concern on this sector. What is the reason behind this?
I'll talk about crop first. Now, crop is an area which is highly dispersed, and there are small holdings everywhere, and different types of crops are there. Now, to make an assessment, it is a difficult proposition as to if there is a loss, how do we arrive at what is the loss? And sending out somebody to make a proper assessment at a proper time, every time at each location, is a very expensive process and a difficult process. But now technology is coming in handy for that, and that has to be integrated. And I'm sure in a couple of years' time, we should be able to come out with new uses for technology, and it should be drawn into this field, which will make assessments and other things easier.
So the foremost thing is technology.
Technology.
Until and unless this technological enhancement is done, we cannot do anything in this sector.
We can. There are traditional methods, of course.
Right, that is what we want to say, because in India as well, this
Yes.
national insurance, this is the new venture for
Yes.
national insurance
Yes.
itself. So what, only technological thing if we keep in mind then?
Yeah, what you say is right. It's not only technology. Traditional methods are there which have been incorporated in this scheme. In fact, last year we have done close to 1,000 crores of agriculture insurance, the first year of our operations in this area. Technology will help in making a proper assessment, and now because it is growing, there is a lot of demand. A lot of startups have come up which are coming up with new applications which will make it relevant. We are now using a lot of satellite imagery and drones and other things also to make assessments, but it's still in the early stages. So right now we are still going by the traditional approach of a person going there and measuring the losses and things like that. But soon there'll be a lot of upgradations. A lot of private operators have come up with weather stations where there were no weather stations. Now there are a large number of weather stations being put up, purely driven by this need from in the insurance sector. So all that will go to help the accuracy of data and data sampling and the way assessments can be made in case of a loss. So definitely it's a long haul. We have to take, and in the long run, technology will also adapt itself to see that this becomes a workable proposition.
Right.
It should not be subject to vagaries of the monsoon, or it should not be subject to vagaries of data being insufficient. So their technology will come in helpful.
How India is in India that national insurance is doing in this sector? Let's say in the sector of this rural insurance, or let's say this agricultural insurance.
Yes.
What kind of approaches that national insurance has taken?
In fact, the last year, the government of India launched a major scheme called the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. And they have, it's a kind of a scheme where the farmer contributes a small amount and the government subsidizes the rest, pays the rest of the premium. In this model, what is happening is that a tender is called for by different states. Every time a state wants to insure the crop, they will call for a tender giving the details. And all insurance companies who are empaneled with the government, they will participate in the tender and quote rates. So any rate which is below the beyond the cutoff, which the farmer has to pay, it could be it's roughly around 2% what the farmer has to pay. Beyond that, he doesn't have to pay. So 2% of that premium, anything beyond that, suppose the premium is say 8%, the different 6% will be paid by the government. So this is the model in which it has been brought in, and they have come out with very detailed guidelines on how the period when the crop cutting will take place, when sowing will take place, when insurance should be taken, and there'll be a cutoff for insurance to be done, beyond which there'll be no insurance to be taken. All these are detailed guidelines given in the manual for that, operational guidelines as it's called. And it also talks about when crop cutting exercises. The whole thing is based on crop cutting exercises at the time of a claim to work out the yield. So these are physical visits to the farm. Certain farms in each district are nominated, and there people go and take measurements as to what is the actual yield, which will be then incorporated for the rest of the district.
That means government has fully supported for this sector, isn't it, this time? The Narendra Modi Sarkar, let's say.
Absolutely, absolutely. They have gone all out to popularize this scheme. And
what about its effectiveness?
It has resulted in payment of claims, no doubt about it. And there are some issues also which are there, which are being sorted out. But a beginning has been made, a very big beginning and a big bang beginning. It's not a small pilot study which was being done earlier. This is an all-encompassing activity across the length and breadth of the country, and it is throwing up a lot of new ideas and new ways of handling the whole thing, and also on improving some of the existing things which are there.
What about in a Nepalese context?
Here also,
what should be done? Do you think that the government is much concerned about this sector?
I think it is, because last time when I came here, there was this conference where some people were talking about, pilot studies being done. I think it was this regulators meet where there was one, some talk about crop insurance and how it's being tried out here in Nepal. And here also that activity, I'm sure, will yield a lot of good results.
Since you have been trying to expand your business in this sector as well in Nepal, so have you gone through some of the policies or not?
Yes, livestock insurance is there, and there we are using the traditional identification methods, and livestock insurance is being done. So, and I think there the government subsidizes to a big extent whatever is the premium. So it's a very good step.
Or we can take the reference of this Modi Sarkar's, this Bima for something. What did you say? Fasal Bima Yojana. I guess from that as well, we can take the reference. How can we adopt such kind of policies and implement to the grassroots, isn't it?
Practices are almost the same.
Right.
So it should be easy to extrapolate.
Since this is South Asian region, isn't it? The problems are similar, the challenges is quite similar, and the solution is also quite similar. While talking about this insurance, what is your analysis on this awareness level of the people?
Awareness level, both in India as well as
in Nepal,
is not very high. And
because this is not the infant, we are not in the infant stage.
It is quite been there for a very long time.
Very long.
And awareness is not to the extent that it should be, but things are changing. There's a lot of new things happening, and perhaps a little bit of force. And I wouldn't say force, but certain things which are made mandatory. For instance, motor vehicle insurance.
Right.
So that is that brings in awareness that there is need for. Another thing which the year before last, a big scheme which came up again, which has, I think, generated a lot of awareness in India, is this Pradhan Mantri
Suraksha Bima
Yojana. You heard of it?
Right.
Oh, good. So that's a wonderful scheme, very simple scheme, where in conjunction with a bank account, opening of bank accounts to the masses, with practically the simplest of procedures, that was taken up first, followed by this Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, which is a simple personal accident policy, wherein a person dies because of an accident.
Has this kind of policy brought changes in India?
It has, because now under this particular policy, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, almost 12 crores of individuals have been insured, which is something mind-boggling. It has not perhaps happened anywhere else in the world. It's one of the biggest schemes in that kind of... and being simple to implement, because all that is required is a bank account, and a form has to be filled saying that you may deduct this amount from my account. The premium is very low. It's just 12 rupees per year, 1 rupee per day, per month. So it's affordable.
Right.
It is simple to implement, and understanding. People understand it also.
There is one question: why this people is not been able to build a kind of trust in this Bima companies?
It's perhaps
again the awareness, or there is something else as well.
There could be an amount of experience also, personal experience. See, what happens is the moment of truth is when there's a claim,
right?
When there is a loss, and what happens is policy conditions generally are quite complicated. That used to be the traditional format. Now, of course, things are being made simpler, so that people can understand and it's straightforward, okay, this is covered, this is not covered. Because of lack of awareness, people generally don't read policy documents. I mean, I'm sure when we download apps from the net, there's always a thing which comes up saying that, okay, these are the conditions.
While talking about this, I just remember one movie of Paresh Rawal. Have you seen it or not? Oh my God, or something. I guess it's all related with this God and insurance companies battle, I guess, isn't it?
So it's, nobody reads the thing in document in detail, and it's never explained. So that at the time of a claim sometimes leads to a discord. Expectations are something, and actual payment comes out to be something else as per the contract. So what needs to be done is increasing awareness and proper explanation.
Don't you think that it's a duty of the insurance company as well to make the people aware, or to make the people not to keep in the darkness?
Absolutely true. I would say that almost 80% of the duty is on the insurance company. And 20% for the person who's getting insured to give a little attention when it's being told to them that this is the coverage.
Right.
But otherwise, definitely it's the duty of the insurance company to tell people as to what they are offering. Because this is not like a physical thing which is being sold. A car being sold,
Definitely
you can
not.
tell the features, show it to them.
Right.
This is a promise that at a later date, maybe after 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, something may happen, and we will be there to bail you out. So definitely that there's an extra duty on the insurance companies to tell people as to what exactly they are being sold.
Well, thank you so much, sir. If you have got something to share with our audience, then please.
I find this a very exciting place, a very warm place, it's one of those places which I've been wanting to come for a long time. Somehow I was not able to. Now I've got the opportunity, and I keep wanting to come again. My best wishes to all the people of Nepal.
Well, thank you so much from the people of Nepal.
Thank you very much.
Do you have some plan of visiting some places in Nepal this time or not?
this time it's packed with meetings.
Right.
So I've decided that next time I come, I'll come on
You should come
a
on vacation.
Otherwise, mixing business with pleasure
No, it's
doesn't
not.
happen.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much once again, sir.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks to you as well, the audience. Please do stay with us for more news and entertainment packages. Keep watching Himalaya Television. Namaste.